Salutations, nerds! We're watching the MCU and all its glory.
Welcome back to Off Slate Media. We are, of course, continuing in our new series, the one that's going to make Nick just hate us.
Well, me and you.
Well, me and Jared. Calling it phased out because we're just so tired. Anyway, today we are... this is a person...
I'm so excited to talk about this movie.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Is this going to be a thing now? You can't see our
he's got
former
a
co-host,
silent
you could
Dickie.
look at and not laugh, but me, you look at me and I make faces and you laugh. Now you can't look at either of
He's
us.
just smiling. It's just
That's
he's
what
just
he
like,
does.
I'm just waiting for that. I'm just waiting to get going. Let's go.
Smiling's your favorite?
What's that?
Smiling's your favorite?
Yeah.
See?
It's my favorite pastime. It's what I like the most.
You were saying, Jake?
Okay, personal opinion, and maybe even a hot take. I think this movie doesn't deserve the crap that it gets.
It 1,000,000% does not deserve any of the crap it gets.
And in fact, I would make the argument that Iron Man is maybe the best trilogy as a whole of the MCU. In that, again, talking forward a little bit, you have Iron Man 1, it's about discovering the suit, becoming the superhero. Then you have Iron Man 2, that's kind of like identity crisis sort of thing.
Mortality.
Yeah. And then you have Iron Man 3 about who is Tony Stark without the suit. The problem with Iron Man 2 is that it's a pivot point for the MCU where it directs it going forward for the foreseeable future. And they break the movie with that weight. Mm-hmm. I think that the biggest tragedy of this, and I thought about this morning as I was driving here, the tragedy of this is that The Hulk, which is a much worse movie, gets forgotten about. People don't recognize it as MCU, whereas they hate this. And I don't think that's fair.
It's a follow-up situation of it's going to be compared to what came before. That's just normal for sequels. But because it is different, people got mad. I mean, it's the butt of a Big Bang Theory joke. I remember Sheldon, it's like one of the few things I remember about the show. For context, my parents, like most parents, love the Big Bang Theory. See? And there's like a thing where it was like, it's something about like Jon Favreau, and Sheldon says like, well, he owes me for Iron Man 2. And they're like, but he did give you this. True. And then he walks away and Bazinga or whatever he does. That's the whole show, isn't it?
What's bad about this movie? What do people not like? I mean, I know there's some people that don't like Whiplash.
Which I do.
That's his villain. Oh my god!
But like,
think about that.
Whiplash. I don't know. I love Whiplash, and it's the first time you get like, the first movie you have the connection to Tony Stark, but it's like his own thing. He's dealing out the weapons, so But this is like his past. His dad screwed somebody over, and it's coming back to bite him. And I love that for a villain, where it's like it's familial grudge. It's like, I don't know you, but like your family messed with my family, so I'm coming after you. Like you have what we should have had.
And he doesn't even necessarily win that fight on the race, but he just goes, "You lose, you lose."
It's the whole like, can you make a god bleed? It's like you just disprove that they're actually a god. That's what he did. He just went out to set out like, you're not perfect. You're not what you want people to think.
What's the line? It's like you went before the. Who did he go before at that the hearing?
Yeah.
And you said no one else had. They're 5-10 years away, and then someone just strolls onto that racetrack with the exact same tech.
Yep. And then like, it's another thing where like the hubris of Tony Stark, where when he finally has a sit down with Ivan, it's here are the things you did wrong. Why would you tell the guy here are the things you did wrong just so next time you can get it better? And he takes that and does it. Same with Iron Man 3. He's like, oh, you want me? Come get me. It's like it's just showing like Tony Stark speaks before he thinks.
What does he say? Double rotations. That was good advice.
Yeah, good advice. It's like, I love that. Like Tony Stark was his own undoing, like he almost always is, but in a much different way than you see in a lot of the other movies.
Yeah, he doesn't give them his address.
Yeah, it's not like outright like, oh, come get me. It's just like, oh, he's just talking to another guy. Like he's impressed with the work he did, but he's like, yeah, but you're not as good as me. He's just bragging.
Was it, you want my things? Well, you can't have it. I have successfully privatized world peace.
Yep.
He does this the whole movie.
He really does.
I think a large part of reason why people don't like this is you've said it before. It's largely a lot of conversations in rooms.
Yeah, it's people standing in rooms talking for most of the movie.
I like that. I don't like when, we've said it before, I don't like when the MCU characters are the characters that they're supposed to be, like the superheroes that they're supposed to be. I like it better when we're seeing them as the people that they are.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what the MCU does better than most. They focus on the character and not the spectacle and their interpersonal relationships, which is what comics are. Like, most comic books are 50 characters in a room just talking, and then you get a big splash page in the middle. Like, it's the conversations. It's who they are. Like, that's what it is.
And it's interesting because I think in this first phase, we get a ton of that. Not so much in the subsequent phases. Sometimes, maybe, but not really. I don't know. I remember this coming out. I remember, people not liking it. I didn't like it. The party scene made me feel super awkward. I think as does most people. And I think as it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I maybe watched this before I watched Iron Man 1. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. But
people always ask, Tony, how do you go to the bathroom in the suit? Just like that.
Really like that.
I kind of wincel. I don't know why. I'm not like laughing, but I don't hate it. I'm just kind of in this weird in between. But the line that I see on Letterboxd that is quoted, and he can't even deliver the line without laughing. You know what it's going to be, right?
What's DJ Abrams' name? Hey,
Goldstein.
Hey, Goldstein. Drop a fat beat while I kick my buddy's ass.
Yep, give me a fat beat to bust my buddy's ass. That's how he laughs.
In the MCU, it's so good.
Give me a fat
did they have
beat.
to cover up the laugh with like a blast?
No, he laughs, and then Rhodey just punches him.
Yeah. I also love DJ Abrams just hiding behind his stage. Yeah. It goes back. It's so good.
It really is, and every time I watch it, I like it more. Like it ages as well as the first one, I think.
Yeah.
It's not Citizen Kane or anything, but
some of the weight is gone from that the suit has, because now there's a bunch of them, and they kind of move without as many sound effects, and it's way more CG, and it's like that aspect of it. It's like, okay, these feel more like a cartoon thing than like an actual physical thing in front of us.
But it's still
it's still
not as bad as the nanobots are.
No. But there are moments it's like, oh yeah. There's 2010 CG, whatever. It's fine.
It's weird how the trial in this movie from so long ago reminded me so much of the TikTok trials.
Yeah.
Where it's the senators don't actually know what's happening. We're asking questions no, where did you get that from? Type situation. It's like, oh man, it's crazy how relevant this is right now.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle. Do you realize how reading a paragraph out of context, leg it? Yes, I realize.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. This is man, it just reminds me of the TikTok guy who just rollers you not know how privacy works? Do you not know how the internet works?
Do you not know how? Do you know what Wi-Fi is? Yeah. Sadly, that was the moment where it really landed on me in my adult life that we are just run by crusty old dragons.
Yeah. Just a world full of Gary Shandlings.
Which is why we escaped the MCU. And Iron Man 2.
Oh.
That suitcase suit is
the suit
a lot of fun. You're right, that fight is a lot of nothing for how they build it up, but the suitcase itself is cool.
The way it does that.
Another movie where I love Pepper Potts and Happy. They're frantic driving.
Why did she go with him?
I don't know.
That's why I never stood okay.
She has to be there to raise the stakes, obviously.
Much, yeah.
It's okay, she says something about the key to the case, which Happy has. It's in his pocket. So why does she go? Okay, yeah. But the whole fight is, they run into him. How did that not kill him? Because his tech is up here on his chest, not lower. And they ram into him twice.
Yeah.
And it's so that happens. Tony puts on the suit. He kicks the card away. He gets wrapped around. it's like it's a really short fight, and I get what it's going for. It's like that's kind of a lame fight. It's a cool build up, but it's kind of lame. I just
What?
I don't know. I'm just like we all went quiet. Then I'm like thinking, and I look over, and he's thinking. I can see out of the corner, like you're thinking, like what's the next thing to
My phone
say?
started vibrating randomly, so I thought I was getting a call. And then I thought Jared felt it vibrating through the tables.
Gotcha. So, yeah. One thing that is kind of weird. It's not like egregious, but it's also a little is the way they are. Like they mention ogling Natasha. They do. It could be funnier, but I think that part of it is it's weird.
Yeah, at first it's weird. It's one thing when Tony is womanizing a group of women. It's another when it's the same one throughout the whole movie.
I think it's also a little bit different, where he's kind of drunk on that poison stuff, right? And that's definitely affecting how he does stuff. It doesn't make it less weird, but I think it makes it a little more understandable. Because I was confused for most of this movie because I entirely thought that at the end of Iron Man 1 that him and Pepper Potts were like a couple, and then like he's like ogling this other one, and it's like, but no wonder she's pissed at you.
Yeah.
But Happy does it too, and one's like, if it was just she started changing,
but she
in the
flips him around, and that's funny.
Yeah.
It's like, well, not that scene. No, in the car.
Oh.
When they're driving to get to the hallway scene.
Staring at
And
it.
it's like if it was a real quick, like she starts changing, we don't see her start to change, and he kind of looks up and he's kind of doing this, and then swerves real quick. That's fine. It's funny because the joke is he's not paying attention, but instead it's like we see her at first, and he like is just like straight up staring.
Yeah.
It's like this is a little, and especially he's the director too.
My guy, they did what they could in this movie to show us Scarlett Johansson in her bra.
Yep.
Like
as much of her body as possible.
Yeah.
That hallway seems still pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the choreography,
I was waiting
is
for it
actually
to
pretty
not
decent.
live up to my memory, but it was fun.
And
Pretty
Happy,
decent.
I got him in the whole
so
hallway.
Good. I forgot that whole like weird sub joke of him fighting one guy while she takes out a whole like facility. Yeah. So good.
I didn't realize it was in New York until like because I was like, wait, because I was thinking about again we got to bring up the whole like retcon of the little kid holding his hand up, that's Peter Parker. It's like okay, whatever.
I mean, they picked a good kid for it. You can't see his face at all.
But I remember thinking like, is that even in New York? And then I realized, it is. They literally called the NYPD. Like the expo is in New York.
I like that little retcon. Like I don't really care much about the continuity of the fact that the kid would be like 5 years younger than Tom Holland was in Spider-Man or whatever. I don't know. It's a cute little continuity thing.
I mean, you know the timeline of it, so that could potentially work out, couldn't it?
Potentially. I think there's like a 2-year difference if you follow the timeline exactly. But the timeline's so wonky, you don't really need to.
Because it's technically taking place still in like 2007 or 8. Because it's, I think we said last week before, like a 6-month jump. And
gotta have some time to privatize world peace.
Yeah. Someone, and of course on Letterboxd, someone mentioned how like in all 3 of these Iron Man movies, Pepper's the one who wins. And I go, yep. Because the first one, she overloads the thingy to zap Stain into this troposphere or whatever, and then this one, she just calls the cops and slams Sam Rockwell's head down. Was it her or was it Natasha that did that?
I think it was her.
I can't remember. A lot happens in this movie.
Yeah,
they shove a lot
that
in.
Third act when you've got all the different military bots and
it's
there's
kind
a lot
of
going on. The Boyd.
Even 3 different movies, because I feel like you could make an entire movie just without Whiplash.
Or with Whiplash, like it's
you can
just
make it
Whiplash.
It's like a revenge story, yeah.
But then there's the Hammer stuff with the defense, which is tied to like they want Tony's tech, which is an interesting thing.
I was gonna say, to me, is the more interesting movie is the part where the warmongering with, Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, Justin Hammer.
Yeah. I like when Rhodey fires off the ex-wife.
Ex-wife, yes.
Hammer tech. Yeah.
I just love Hammer going. Justin Hammer is one of the best characters in the MCU. Please, Marvel, give Sam Rockwell any amount of money you can to bring him back.
How come we can send people to freaking Valhalla and be like, yes, you can come back in another movie.
Yeah,
but we can't let Sam Rockwell out of jail.
Yeah, how do you get Natalie Portman back before Sam Rockwell?
Oh, that footage of the guy in the suit and it
No.
it still makes me
He's alive and well. He survived.
Yeah,
His little jig.
to pick up the pieces.
Yeah. Justin Hammer is perfection. He's everything I want in a movie character. He's a little snivelly. He's a little power hungry. He's everything.
Elon Musk is in this movie too.
Is that actually Elon Musk?
It is.
Barf.
I mean, he sees himself as an Iron Man type when he's really a Justin Hammer type. So why not be in it?
That's fair.
And he does have an ex-wife, isn't that Grimes?
It is.
Yeah, there's that. I think we talked about it, Jake, before. Him being poisoned by the thing keeping him alive is actually good.
Yeah.
And I wish they leaned into it more, because they do lean into it a lot, but that should be like the central part of it. But they're
then
doing
they fix it like halfway through the movie,
and that,
before he's even figured out the element that's ultimately. See,
technically it was a stopgap. It didn't fix him. It was just a temporary.
They never address it, and it's never a problem.
It never like I need
after
she
shoots him up. Yeah, like it's not like there's a limited amount of dosages of these. See, that's the third movie.
I actually assume that's why they left the Shield people there, like outside of just watching. We're like, also give him another dose of this, but like you said, never brought up again.
And then Jake and I talked about like him getting the element. What is the word we were looking for?
Synthesizing?
Thank you. When he synthesizes the new element, he does it very quickly and very easily. Yes, he's very smart, but
he makes a comment. Well, that was easy.
He did also figure out time travel in an afternoon.
The whole point, though, is like, whereas the first movie had ample time to like show us the process of building the suit without getting too scientific where we can't follow. This one, it was just, just put a few things together. That was easy. I was like, I kind of like this process because it feels like it's the first movie, but then a bunch of, like Feige and the higher ups said, well, you have to include this to set up this and this and this. So it just gets, and you're probably going to say, it's carrying too much. It gets too heavy for its own good.
Yeah, they realized, this is going to be a full universe. So you have to seed it all in this one movie.
Like I said, it is a pivot point. Like I would call No Way Home the next like real pivot point of because you can't call Endgame that.
Winter Soldier is a big pivot point too.
Yeah. That
literally changes the landscape of everything.
Fair. He had the wrong Boyd. Like, was it the wrong bird? Was he messing with Hammer?
I don't know.
Like, for years I've asked this, because by the end of the movie, he's close with, like, Hammer mentioned, he's like, oh, now you like the bird. Is this the right bird? Did you get me the wrong bird?
It's hard. Okay, I'm not going to go all PETA.
You're talking about the bag. You're going to talk about the bag.
Yes, it's hard to watch them grab that bird and put it in the bag. Like, I'm not going to go all PETA about it, but, like, oh my gosh.
That's my favorite, like, through line of an MC movie. It's like, they spent so much time on this bird. The Boyd.
I don't think it's the bird. I think the dude just
got a random bird.
Yeah.
But how did he describe what his bird looked like? How did he know to get the same type of bird?
I don't think it matters. I just think the point is that that Sam Rockwell's a scumbag.
That's valid. The real hero of our movie.
And he's not really in it that much.
But he shines in every second
he does.
He's there.
Same with Whiplash. Whiplash is not in it that much. He's sitting around, playing with his little toys for most of the movie.
And that's my favorite parts of him is when he's got his like little glasses on, he's got just tinkering. Like, I love that. We don't really get that in the MCU anymore.
When he's first making the
drones.
Drones better.
I'm just thinking about it's like, there's so much happening. They hardly are there because it's trying to focus more on Tony. But then Tony has like 3 or 4 things going on, so it can't focus on anything that much. And I remember liking the scene where he synthesizes the element, every time that you flip by and it's on FX. And you see that scene, okay, yeah. And him, like, getting the strawberries and driving to the office.
That drove you nuts, didn't it?
When he threw them away and half of them, like, rolled onto the ground.
Went everywhere? Uh-huh.
I was like, those are going to just sit there. Because who knows when someone cleans next, or what if they miss them, or they step on them, or they're going to rot.
You just left the thing that she's deadly allergic to right at the entryway of her door.
Yep.
Like, she walks in and heels that maybe have an open toe, steps on it, boom, swollen toe.
Yep. There are all those boxes sitting there.
See, the thing I hate about that scene is when he's driving away and he's got the layout thing just sticking out of his car. Like,
yeah.
Like
are
it's
those little pieces from 40 years ago not flying off this board as you race down the highway?
How did he take it apart himself? Because it was one giant board.
Yeah.
He got out pretty easily, too, because they said, we have you under surveillance. You may not leave.
Movie's trash. That scene alone.
And they bring it up. He's like, you get what does Coulson say? Like, you ducked out from under us or something. It's like, so he's told you can't go anywhere. So he synthesizes this thing, and then.
But you brought him all the stuff except the stuff.
It's like they kind of knew what he was because they said get to work. It's like, so the one thing you need, you didn't get him. So then you just let him leave to get it. It's like, why don't you just bring it?
That's my one thing. It's
doesn't Coulson say he had to handle the New Mexico situation at that point, though?
Yeah, but when Fury initially talks to him at the house and is like, hey, this is Natasha, blah, blah, blah. He's like, we brought all your dad's old things. We thought maybe you'd want to go through it or whatever. Like, why not bring all of it? Like, the main piece that all of the video footage is telling you to look at, they're like, you can go get that, but we're going to put you on lockdown so you can't go get that. It's just a part of the movie that makes no sense. If it was just in the stuff, it's a reason. It's a reason to get him over to talk to Pepper. It's all it is. But like
him getting frustrated with that thing on the desk is one of my favorite moments too.
Yeah. It just
can I move this? No.
The first one.
I think it's like before he touches it, people thought like it was fake, and then he touches it and go, no, that's real. I think it was driving me nuts because they focus it in the shot, and it's like, and then he tries stopping. I go, thank goodness. And then they do the cap tease, and he uses it for
prop things up.
Yep. I go, okay, that's
see. Is a nice little seeding also of Coulson being a super fan when he sees it, he immediately is like, oh, this.
That's one of the things where like, in hindsight from Avengers, it's like, oh no.
Yeah,
poor Coulson.
The reason he's doing this is because of Cap, and he's like, "Oh, give me that piece of trash to show under this thing. What I'm doing is more important."
Which Tony knows about because remember, doesn't he say in a later movie like, "All my ever dad talked about was you."
Yep.
So it's like
he seeds the hate between them and the Avengers, where he's just like, where they have the little feud back and forth. Yeah, I don't know. Movie's good.
Such a hard turn. Trash. Trash. Why'd they let him go out of the house instead of bring the thing? And that movie's good. Shield. Shield with the shield.
They got it.
Yeah. The first Wakanda reference in the background of one of the last scenes it's behind him. The whole like, so you want me on the team, and he reads it. Oh, you don't want me on the team. It's like, he's like, that makes no sense. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So you want him, but you don't want him. You want Iron Man, not Tony Stark.
Yep.
I wish I was still the elitist where I missed the times when I was the only one around me that knew what Wakanda even was. Now everybody knows.
Now everyone does the thing.
Yeah, everybody does the thing. It's like, I knew that before the movie came out. I was looking for these little Easter eggs.
I mean, shoot, even in the new Spider-Man game, if you go to the Wakandan embassy, Miles will do the...
It's kind of like, I was watching a video from a YouTuber like 10 years ago, and they were talking about how Lord of the Rings used to be something like, it's popular for people who've read the books or the weirdos who like the Bakshi movie. Like, it used to be this thing of, you like Lord of the Rings? And now, not that you can't find people, it's still cool to talk about, but everyone knows what it is. And everyone has seen it and talked about it. It seems like so.
Yep.
It is kind of one of those, this used to be kind of like a cool nerd thing. Now it's just the thing.
Yeah, whereas like when you used to be able to find somebody that knew the things that you knew.
Same thing with
Doctor
Who.
Special. Now it's everybody knows the MCU. Everybody knows Marvel characters.
Oh, I remember when I started being aware of what are Doctor Who fans called?
Whovians.
Okay, I thought so. And I say because like you've been watching for a while, and you've been watching for a while. It's like me. I think I was in high school. It's like circa like 2010. About the time this movie came out, I met my first Whovian. Man, that guy was annoying.
No, Whovians are very annoying.
Especially around that time, like hardcore Tumblr, Super Who Lock time. That was tough.
He had his phone out, and he had a picture of the what's the blue booth thing called?
TARDIS.
Thank you.
The guy ready
And
for
he
the arm.
shoves his phone in my face. He goes, "You know what this is?" I've never seen that in my life. He goes, "Oh, it's kind of pretty cool if you did." It's like, get that out of my face. And
Wait, no, gatekeepers try to keep them out.
Yeah.
Well,
that's just a pretentious jack-off.
Yeah. I remember one year, it was a New Year's Eve party. A friend, Marianne, was like, we're going through TV, we're playing games. She's looking for something. And I was like, oh, Doctor Who. She goes, oh, you like Doctor Who. Why do you like it? And I was just like...
Because it's fun.
I kind of went there, I was like, oh, it's fun. Like, there's time travel, like, cool aliens and stuff.
Who's your favorite Doctor?
She watched it for 5 minutes. She goes, this is a dumb show for children.
Oh,
Stop
I thought
watching
you.
it."
I thought
Yes,
you
it is, and I love it.
And then, like, I was like, yeah, no, you're right. Like, it is a dumb show for children.
I thought it was gonna be a gatekeeping thing of like,
Nope.
who's your favorite Doctor, and you'd say like the current one or the one just like, oh, okay, well mine is Sylvester
Tom
McCoy.
Baker.
No, she was just like, oh, you like this? What do you like
That's
about
the
it? I told her
standard
to do it. I
response.
don't like it.
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker. Yep. Everybody loves him.
Gotcha.
Scarf.
Yeah. You might actually watch an episode with that scarf in it.
Oh,
I don't remember.
Gotcha.
One of the characters, the girl character.
The museum.
Yeah. We didn't watch that one, but there's another one that she's in.
Yeah, she comes back later.
yeah. I just on gatekeepers though. It's like I used to have like a half awareness of what it meant because I thought it was you keep people out, but it's like they're aware of what it is. You just don't let them in. No, it's that, and it's encompassing. Like you don't even let them know what it is.
Yeah.
That's where you get. Like, well, it's not gatekeeping if they don't know where the gate is. And a friend of the podcast, Hammy, went, "That's literally the definition."
Yeah.
I go, oh.
Do you want to know the original gatekeepers? Euchre players.
They can have it. They can legit have it. I'll go play spades.
There
I
they
don't
are.
care.
They're standing in front of their
So
gated
you grew up
community.
south of 96.
No, I grew up not understanding euchre because all my friends played, so I learned the easier game.
They're standing outside the gated community. It's like, yeah, we play euchre, and then we're standing. Cool.
Yeah.
We just walk away.
Yep.
I tried once. I don't get it.
Yeah, I've tried many times throughout the years, and
I don't know why people have such.
they get
a
so
diff-
angry when you play it wrong too. Like, just let me make
It's
a
like,
mistake.
here, you need. If you ever played euchre, and then you go, no, you have to play. I'll show you how to play it. And then halfway through the game, when you are not understanding, they're upset. It's like, how do you not get this? It's like,
no.
don't yell at
It's
me.
even better when it's like, have you played euchre? No. Well, you got to find someone to teach you. Can't you teach me? No.
Yeah.
Is euchre as popular anywhere else
Probably
in the
not.
world?
I
Michigan is
Michigan.
probably euchre capital.
You like euchre, Jake?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm.
You can keep it then.
I am willing to teach people how to play it, but
You don't want to teach me how to play card games.
I don't-
Teach me how to play it.
I don't want to teach you how to play games. It's very hard to teach you how to
Because
play
I don't
games.
get
You
it.
have to read the instructions, but then also explain the in between of the instructions.
I'm a trial and error person. I'd have to play like 50 times before I understand the basic rules.
I get that.
That's just how I
Let me
function with
explain
games.
an old fable to you, Nick.
Okay.
It's 2012 or 2013. We used to play a lot of board games up in an office over there. We're playing Risk. It's me, Jared, our friend Aaron, and our friend Ryan.
I know how to play Risk at this point.
Okay, I was
Ryan-
like, is this a new thing for you?
Ryan and Aaron are coming after me, and I know this, and I'm trying to communicate to him, and they're texting each other back
They're
about how they're
texting
gonna.
each
Meanwhile, he's just sitting there, just putting people in Poland.
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
It was the
Sorry.
Ukraine one. It was like the big Ukraine
He's
territory.
just putting people in Ukraine. They finally take me out, and they go
Oh, I
after
don't know what's
him.
funnier than that. They're texting each other to gang up on you, and I'm just like, I'll attack Jake right there. And you're giving me looks like, what are you doing? How can you not see? And then I'm just like, ha 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 ha. And they're just sitting there like, oh, I guess Jared's just going to do our hard work for us. I didn't last very long in that game.
Yeah, I bet.
But they had to face each other eventually.
Yes, you did. You were the final. You and
No,
Ryan
it
were the
was,
final
no,
two.
it was those two. Ryan took me out. He just roll after finally took me out, and then they had to face off. Because me and you just sat there talking about something. We're just sitting there, and you're like, I really want to like choke you and tell you what you just did, but I can't. In front of. But I've played. I'm terrible at strategy games because my strategy is to not have a strategy. Because when I try to come up with a strategy, I get overwhelmed. Oh no, I love Jeopardy. I love trivia.
That's fair. Okay.
Not Trivial Pursuit, because that's about strategy on the board. No, just give me straight trivia.
What about the Blockbuster trivia game?
I do like that.
We ought to do a podcast sometime where we just play that.
Oh, yeah, I played that with you. I think. That's one where it's also like, it's not my favorite kind of game, because mine is just ask me questions, and I'll answer. But it's like a step below where there is strategy, and there is like teamwork stuff that I'm not as good at, but I can still play it and have fun, because it is a fun game.
It is.
We had to do a podcast at some point, or like a series of them where we play that, or something.
I think we need another person, wouldn't we?
I think we need 3 others. I think it's teams of 3.
Is it teams of 3?
I think so.
It's a fun game.
Category, so I think that.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be hard to find if we don't have to say you have to watch these movies.
That's true. Yeah, just come play a game with us.
That is true. But games are just hard for me.
I know. I've watched you play games. It's hard for everyone.
I've watched you play games.
I find it very entertaining.
What, watching me try to figure out game?
Wait. Were you?
Because usually I'm that person where it's like, I didn't pay attention to the rules, I'll figure it out along the way, and then I don't put in the work to figure it out along the way.
Well, you were there when we were playing Secret Hitler, and I didn't understand the rules, and I was
that when our former?
No, that was later. That was the eyelid incident that we've brought up many times. This was the time before where they said, fascists, open your eyes, but they didn't specify what role, because if you're Hitler, you're not supposed to know. And so I opened my eyes, and I think Hammy was running that game because he always has to keep teaching people. And he goes, "Okay, everyone open their eyes." And he goes, "Something's wrong." There's only I think it's like there's one too many people with their eyes open.
And you were Hitler in this.
I didn't know I was. Like, he said fascism. He said fascism with their eyes. It said fascist. And it said but it said secret role Hitler. So I got confused. Like, am I actually the Hitler role, or am I secretly like a fake one?
A secret Hitler.
Yeah. So he.
Like in disguise.
Yeah. So he's like, who is the Hitler card? And, is that what this means? And he goes, "Everyone, give me their card. Give me their envelopes. Let me reshuffle." Yeah. And he just goes, and in my head I'm going, I didn't want to play this.
I think you said it out loud.
I said I don't want to play this.
You're like, I told you guys I didn't want to play.
I told you I'm bad at learning games. I tried. Yeah. It didn't make sense because that wasn't even the first round. That was like the third round.
That reminds me, are you familiar with the game Bang?
Yeah.
So we were playing Bang with Ryan and Aaron, and I don't remember what the circumstances were, but you were like the outlaw. And you had me so convinced that you weren't.
I got him so good.
I don't even know that you intended to get me, though.
That was also, you're like asking me questions. Drew, friend of the podcast, Drew, is playing like random music on his phone through a speaker.
No, that was a different time. This one was in Ryan's house.
I thought it was at your bachelor party.
No. That was us trying to convince Austin that he was.
That's right. That's where Drew had the music. Yeah. It played one note from something. I went, "Is that the theme from The Apartment?" And Drew goes, "Yes, it is."
Yes, it is.
Like I heard the of the strings. I go, "I know that." But no, but the other one was at Ryan's house. You said,
"Yeah, you had me so convinced that you weren't the outlaw, and so I went after Ryan, I guess."
That's right. And at the end, I was like, "Oh, it was me," and you're like, "What?" And I was like, I played the game. What do you want from me? I actually understood how to play a game."
Don't be mad. I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about Iron Man 2.
Sam Rockwell.
Free Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, get him out of Marvel jail. Put him back in the movies. Like, we got Ben Kingsley back before Sam Rockwell.
Could we just get like
we got Tim Roth back.
Is there
Tim Roth back? We got Natalie Portman back. She said she'd never do one of these.
Is there some
Renee
kind
Russo? Or is it Reed?
I don't think it's Reed.
I thought it was Reed.
Is there some kind of like Marvel?
You know, like Reed?
I don't like Reed.
It reads to me as Reed.
It reminds me of Reed.
Reed Richards.
But bad. But like a bad version, a not good, like dirty version. Like
how do you say his name again? It's like Alan Grufford.
Yeah. So
Y'all. I'm so sorry. I do not know how to say Eowyn. We'll just say Eowyn.
It's Yo.
Yo.
Yeah, like yo.
Yo, Gruffin. That's me.
Is there some kind of like Marvel, like Sinister Six sort of group?
I thought you were
That is
saying.
a group, yes.
No. That's a DC.
No, Sinister Six is Marvel.
Oh, you're right. It is.
Yeah,
It's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man villains.
Is there any sort of group that is comprised
Suicide Squad. Like a
That's
Marvel Suicide Squad?
That's DC.
So a Marvel Suicide Squad, you're saying?
No.
No?
I'm saying like a villain team. I would not call them villains.
Thunderbolts.
There you go.
Thunderbolts would probably be your closest one.
But I don't think we'd get like main ones like super villains.
Right, yeah. So there's all I don't remember what their full name was, but there was a time, it might have been the Thunderbolts, where all the villains took over as the heroes. So you had like
That's right.
Yeah. Like Captain America was Red Skull, I think.
Yeah.
And they all like took over their hero counterparts, and it was real weird. So there's that, but Thunderbolts is like
Marvel
villainish people.
Marvel done be running out of ideas
I
in
know.
places.
A little bit.
I can't wait to see more Florence Pugh in the MCU. She is so much fun.
Like Hawkeye, the show is in, but the scenes that she is in are so fun. Like her and what's her name?
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld's like back and forth is so it feels so organic and fun. I love it.
If there's, not to jump way too ahead of ourselves, if there's one itty bitty speck of hope I have in this dying thing, it's those two and
The Young Avengers, basically.
what is it? Miss Marvel. What is?
Milan,
Thank you.
who I think is the future. They need to
Those
use
three. Those three
Wait,
together.
Who?
Miss Marvel.
Okay.
Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala Khan.
I could not remember her real name. And I feel bad.
Yeah,
But like
Kamala
those
Khan is
three.
just, she's what it should be.
Those three together, it's like, because that's what the Marvels thing is. It's like, that's actually not a bad foot to start with. The problem is these last two phases are just a mess.
Yeah.
Because I think this is phase 6 now, isn't it? 5 is done. What was the end of? Was Marvel's the end of 5? No, there's
No.
a secret invasion. What was it?
I don't remember if 5 is ended or if we're about to end 5. But I know
He's looking it up.
one of the phases ended just very unceremoniously, and it kind of just like.
Yeah.
Was it end of phase 4?
Or maybe it was like the Christmas special was the end of.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, it was something to do with the Guardians Christmas special.
Phase 5 features all Mario Studios in production set to be starting from 2023 to mid-2025.
Okay. So, yeah, 2023. So it would have started probably around the Christmas special.
Yeah, Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's right.
Wasp.
We said that the Guardians Christmas special,
Ends
which is one of the
for-
more entertaining projects that they've done.
I honestly thought I was going to hate it, but it was fun.
Yeah, and then Thunderbolts ends. I think you just said
Currently
5.
we're in phase 4.
5.
This says 4. That's from February 2022.
Oh, we were in phase 4 then.
Yeah, we're in the middle. We have 3 movies left in phase 5, and then phase 6.
Which does it even
Starts
matter
with
if they're
Fantastic
in phases
Four.
because they have no direction at this
Yeah,
moment.
no,
at the
and,
moment.
like I get what they're doing with like the multiverse saga stuff, but they also kind of just dropped that, especially with Kang not being a thing.
Kang not being
The Kang thing.
Yeah. And it all comes back to Iron Man 2, and it's heavy lifting.
It did it pretty well. I mean, not perfectly, but, you know. It did what it had to do.
It feels more like a long TV show episode that's like getting you ready for other episodes instead of being
it feels
its
like the
own
penultimate
thing.
TV show or penultimate episode, and then Avengers is the season finale.
Yeah, which we've mentioned. We'll probably mention again when we get to the Avengers episode. How this whole thing is basically one big TV series.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
So why did they introduce more TV series for us to watch?
Those are the mini-sodes.
I don't want to have to watch TV shows and
I gave up.
movies
Where did I give up? I think
She-Hulk, I think, is where you gave up because you
I didn't
finished...
even. I finished Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight was the last
didn't
one.
you finish Miss Marvel?
That's before Moon Knight, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so. I think it came out.
I think I watched it after, but like the last one chronologically that I saw was Moon Knight, and I was like, I like bits and pieces. and like She-Hulk had started and all the divisiveness and more shows. It's like I just don't have the energy or time to keep going. There's it's oversaturated.
Episodes of Loki season 2, and they were fine.
I think I told myself like that one. I like season 1. I will watch season 2, and I'll just
watch it for
him. And his character's really fun. He's like this weird like curator of the TVA, so he's just kind of nutty and hasn't talked to a human being in 1,000 years.
So he's his character in Everything Everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. But he knows about the multiverse in this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna now continue Loki season 2 with him being Wayman from Everything Everywhere in my headcanon.
No, I don't think I've watched anything since. I think I watched Moon Knight, and I think I watched the first couple of episodes of Miss Marvel, and I just never.
Which I actually like.
Well, because it's different.
It's different when it leans
people.
When it leans into the Marvel stuff, it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like the fight when they get to India. In the middle there. Like, I was like, yeah, this kind of sucks. Whenever it's her or her family or, like, the flashback stuff, I'm actually interested.
And, like, I love her. Like, every member of her family is so fun to see on screen. Like, even her brother and her interactions are so great. Like, her mom's amazing, but her dad. Her dad in that stupid, Incredible Hulk costume, being sad at his daughter, ripped my heart out. Well, we won't get there, actually, because we're not doing the TV shows. Sad.
Not sad, because then we'd have to rewatch WandaVision and
Hawkeye
and what
and Captain Falcon, which I always thought was just kind of Captain Falcon. There are a lot of people who really like it. Like a lot of people I've talked to, like I think it's my favorite one.
Outside of the Freedom Fighters, I love that show. But the Freedom Fighters bring it so far down.
It should have been a movie.
It's really interesting, the dark Cap angle.
Yeah.
And they didn't lean hard enough into it.
Yeah, I think we've.
That sounds familiar.
Third story and just.
They don't. Lean
Are you talking about how I can't lean because I'm crippled?
No, I didn't say that.
You ableist.
Yeah. You're like that sit down that they did before the D&D movie.
When we cut, I'm going to say something to you.
Iron Man 2.
I don't know what else to say. That's the thing with like these episodes, like. But our episodes, like...
No, you mean the movies?
Yeah, well, yeah. There's not a ton to say because everyone is deconstructed and talk these to death. We're just doing it because we like talking them to each other and talk about euchre and gatekeepers.
Avengers will have a lot more to say because it gets a little bit more confusing and a little bit...
stupider.
A little bit heavy-handed at times.
Stupider, too.
Exactly. Let's be real here. We're here to rank these. We just got to get to that point.
They're all number one in my eyes.
Yeah,
including Love and Thunder and Quantum Mean.
I had to watch Love and Thunder again. Oh,
no,
the realization.
We get to watch Love and Thunder.
You're
again.
Part of the team now, Nick.
I would break my TV if I
sit down, bud. We're sitting in the bone cage again.
Oh, I've never seen a director lose so much goodwill with me in such a quick amount of time.
I know that's a whole nother video.
I used to defend that man.
Oh, now I find a bus to throw him under.
The next goal wins bus. We can throw him under that.
Nobody's seen it.
I did. It's called. I have a couple hours to kill. I'll watch this.
I like
yeah, I got to the end. It's like, I didn't dislike this like I thought it was. I dislike it more than I thought I would.
Did you ever watch any of that show that Dickie really loves that he directed?
The boat.
Our flag means death.
Yeah.
I hear good things about that, but I'm just kind of sick of him.
I feel like it's
going
to be the same thing as everything else. And why does he always have to put himself in his own movies? I don't get it. But anyway.
Kevin Smith did it, so everybody else wants to do it too.
I mean, I guess Jon Favreau did it too.
Any chance to bring up Kevin Smith?
It wasn't a negative light, though.
But still, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
He's part of the MCU.
He is.
It's funny that we say there's not much to say about these, but like these first Phase 1 ones are like the ones that are allowed to be movies and not plot points.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no weird agenda of like, all right, so we'll make this movie. We also have to reference this movie 5 years down the road. Like, make sure you're seeding that in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, remember when they put Harry Styles in the MCU and everyone was like, "What's gonna happen?" And have we seen anything about that?
Marvel's even come out and said like, we're kind of just throwing things at the wall, and what people gravitate towards, we'll go ahead and go along with those plans. Like,
5 years
for
for
your
that?
universe. You used to.
That's because they, pardon my French, they blew their load on Thanos, which is one of the ultimate Marvel things.
But there's nothing more comic book they could have done than overbloat their universe to the point where you have to reset it because it makes no sense anymore.
That is just Marvel's. That is just Marvel's MO. I mean,
it's Marvel, DC, Image. They're all like, all right, just keep adding things so you have to reset.
But comic books are inherently different than movies.
Yeah, I mean they switch.
But not with how they've done the MCU.
True.
They run the MCU like they run their comics, where it's like, all right, you get these set of movies, then we'll switch to a different writer and art stylist, but you're going to do the same continuity, but you're allowed to change whatever you want. Like, they're running it like a comic book.
I don't feel
it worked for a while.
Okay, this is again a bit down the road. I don't feel like they let Sam Raimi do whatever he wanted with that.
I feel like they did, and then cut all of that out and just like little samples of it.
So like what they did
with
exactly.
So like what they did with the Marvels. I feel like that movie could have been.
I don't think that director had a vision. I think that's why she was hired.
That's down the road.
I want to talk about that.
That's nothing against the director. That's against Marvel.
That's the most interesting movie to talk about.
That's later. That's number 30 something. This is number 3. We're like 30 movies away from that.
I'm sorry. Sometimes we just talk and you talk something else.
Okay, great.
Making sure to guide us back to phase 1.
I do like that whole like he asks Fury for a favor and it's to have. I gotta remember Gary Shanley's like Senator Stern to be the one to present them with the awards. Oh, okay.
When he pins it on him a little extra hard.
And he's like, yeah, isn't it? What is it? How annoying a little prick can be. I go, that's good. That's like actually good. It's a funny joke, and then that little line is just, it's actually good.
You have Agent Sitwell's introduced in this movie, who has maybe the most gruesome death in all of the MCU. We'll get there, but it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah, but that's when we first see him, and then trying to think there was another thing. That's our first like elongated climax, because another like the first two, it's pretty short.
Yeah.
The Ironmonger fight, it's only like
it's a quick chase.
It's like 5 to 6 minutes, and then the Hulk one is really short. That's like 3 minutes.
Good.
This one is like 20 minutes, and it's like, it's most of these movies. Like our next week's movie has 2 climaxes. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's just, now we're starting to stretch a little bit because it is a lot. But, it's fun to see them shoot down all those robots and work together. And
explosions are fun.
They do beat Whiplash pretty easily.
I also like Tony's little one-shot charge laser. He could have pulled it at any time.
You could pull it out, and I goes, I can only use it once. I was like,
could have used that at the beginning of the fight. It ended at the beginning of the fight.
And also, it's like, I can only use it once. That's based off of the power you were running on before. Now you have the new element.
Yeah.
I think you probably could use it again.
The things that come out of his hands are like smoking and fried. I think it's the laser
okay.
itself. Yeah, because you see him pop them out and they're just like smoking coming out of his hands.
That is one thing I appreciate about this. You're still holding on to, like, as we've been saying, the physicality. Like this is going to sound really weird. The Iron Man suit still discharges stuff.
It has gadgets.
Whereas, like, Infinity War Iron Man, now he's got rockets on his back. Now he's got
Green Lantern, where if you can think it, you can have it because of nanobites.
Yep.
Whereas, it's not like, all right, what's in the suit is my limitations.
It made him seem smarter.
Yeah. I also love that after Rhodey gets control back of his suit, they're still squabbling because they're still in the middle of a fight with each other. So it's like, all right, you take the high ground, the heavy gun on the high ground, and they're trying to figure out who's the heavy gun. Like, who's the lead here? Like, I got all this stuff. Like at that point, you could have just been like, oh, they're friends again. Like, they have a common enemy. It's like, no, they're still squabbling. Like, they've been friends for a long time. Like, they're not letting this go, even though there's a crazy Russian guy with electric whips chasing them.
Yep.
What was the thing at the donut shop that Fury says to him? He basically implies that, cause he's like, yeah, he got away with my stuff. He got away.
Yeah.
But then he says something about, like, but only you could have like chosen who can pilot those. So
yeah,
it's like
he's like, you have auto lock on those. You can choose to shut it down at any time.
So it kind of lets you know, like, he kind of just let him take it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I made sure I got that right.
Also, that poster of him in the donut is the best poster.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but Marvel chooses just the most bland posters to be their main
Floating
posters.
heads. They've made it a staple in the movie industry. You have so many A-list stars in your movie, and all their contracts have to have a certain percentage of the poster space, so all their faces go on them. I hate it. It's like my
I
biggest
feel like
pet peeve with
creativity
cinema
is
right
dying.
now.
I feel
No.
what?
Of course not.
I feel like the MCU is killing creativity. I didn't just say that. What are you talking about?
I think it already killed it. We just aren't accepting its death yet.
The moon should have some green light to it.
The moon has a night.
Moon also has a Nick Fury chain. You know, technically, if this continuity runs with the comic one. He up there.
I mean, he is kind of... Yeah.
That's
it wouldn't be Hasselhoff because the actor is canon in the universe.
That's right.
Hasselhoff is?
He's Peter Quill's favorite actor.
That's
as a child.
right.
His father. So who is the white Nick Fury chained to the moon in the MCU? Harrison Ford. Just all the old guys.
I was gonna say Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, that would be amazing. Have him come down with an eye patch.
Or it's Al Pacino. And he's like, whoa!
Just strutting on the moon with some Dunkachinos.
Uh-huh.
I'm on the moon!
Anyway, we got anything else to say about Iron Man 2? Anybody?
Oh yeah. Then Kate Mara shows up for that one part.
Yeah, just randomly.
Which we say that now. This is like, wasn't House of Cards her first like big
Yeah,
thing?
that was 2000.
Wait, what?
It's
One-
20. That's like 2013.
What one?
Later
part?
than that? Okay.
She hands him the summons thing, the subpoena.
Oh, yeah.
Subpoena, is that the right
Okay.
word?
Yeah, I think so.
But remember, he's like, don't hand me things. And she hands it to Happy. I was like, okay, so she's in this one scene, that's it. But then it's like, now it's like, well, yeah, she wasn't.
She's an invisible woman.
Yeah, later.
And not in this universe.
Yes.
All right, we good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to keep bumbling down this path with us, you can check us out on our socials. Jared, why don't you go ahead and fill them in so we can get out of here?
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and the funny TikTok, and X.
Formerly known as Twitter.
And listen to us on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and hey, if it's YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, ring our bell, check us out on all those apps, like and comment, and hey, check out our groovy website.
We promise we'll update it at some point. Anyway, I think that's about it for today's episode. If you want to keep walking down this path with us, come back every Tuesday as we get more and more phased out.
Yep, Thor's next week.
Yes. Everybody's favorite Shakespearean wrestler.
Have care how you speak.
That's the wrong movie.
I know, but I like saying it. It's funny.
I want another!
It's the blonde eyebrow one.
Yup.
That gives me the creeps.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye. Someone made fun of the mama bear and got the hand. What are they gonna do when we make fun of the cub?
What you looking at?
Oh, it's just a piece of tape.
Fell in love with the emo girl.
It sounds like fell in love with a girl.
G-G-B-G.
In every movie, he also goes, "Wah!"